Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to be talking about two styles from French leather goods brand Prouès by David Hanna. The first style is the Magnetique Agile. One of my viewers posted a comment asking if I had seen the bag in person and what I thought about it. And the second is one of two of my favorite styles from the brand, the holster bag. And I think it's an absolutely amazing alternative to the Christian Dior saddlebag. I'm Anesu Sagonda and I produce educational luxury content for anyone after the finer things, whether you're new to money and wanting to learn how to navigate the terrain, or you're into luxury but you want to focus more on high quality under the radar brands, or you're young and starting out in life and wanting to reap the benefits of buying better quality from the get-go, then my content is geared towards you. I went to take a look at the Magnetique Agile bag in their boutique in Paris in the 8th arrondissement on the Golden Triangle. And I remember walking in and noticing the Magnetique Agile in both sizes in the window. And I remember beginning of the week when I called to find out if they had the bag in stock, they mentioned they only had the small size in black Torillon bull calf skin leather. And so when I saw the large size in the Novo Napa, that's 34 centimeters in length versus the smaller one, 25 centimeters in length, I was pleasantly surprised. And I thought, oh great, I'll be able to give a really balanced opinion on the bag because I will have seen both sizes. As I walked in, I also said to the manager, you have a lot of really striking styles, different to what a lot of other brands are crafting. And how do you decide which of the styles to place in the window? And she mentioned that ever since they started placing the Magnetique Agile bag in the window, they noticed consumers will notice it, and increasingly more people will notice it, stop, take a look, and very quickly they'll come in store to take a closer look at the bag, and that affords the brand the opportunity to be able to showcase all of their other wonderful styles. So it's a style that's starting to gain traction in its own right, and it's also a bit of a crowd pleaser, and it's helping the brand gain visibility. People notice it, people see it, they like it, they come in, and it opens up Prouès by David Hanna to increasingly more people. The Magnetique Agile is a bag with two handles. It has a leather attachment with a keychain at the base, and that can be used to attach charms or tie a scarf decoratively around the keychain, or you can place keys, but I'd be less inclined to recommend keys because they could scuff the leather depending on the type of keys you have. The only difference between the small and the large size is the interior of the bag. The small size only has one zipped pocket on one side of the bag, whereas the large size has a zipped pocket and on the opposing side a slip pocket as well. Both bags have on the underside feet just to elegantly raise the profile of the bag. The bag is called the Magnetique Agile because the closing component on top is a magnet, a fairly solid, swift magnetic component. It's fairly solid. If you were to drop the bag, it wouldn't open, it would stay in place. It's called Agile because Agile is quick and the magnetic force is very quick, it's solid, it's a firm movement. And I also like the fact that they have a little strap on top with a clasp underneath for added security as well. And so what do I think about the bag? I know the commenter said, have you seen it? Yes, I've seen it, and luckily enough for you, I've seen it in both sizes. I know you're on the fence, you're saying, oh, I didn't intend to buy another bag, but the Magnetique Agile has just got you into a bit of a tizzy, and rightly so. As I mentioned in the video when I first spoke about the brand, I'm going to attach the video above, I mentioned their styles are arresting. You notice them, they're different, but what really stands out about the brand is that their bags look expensive. I see a lot of bags. I see bags from brands that source their leathers from the aspirational brands, the good and the great, Hermes, Chanel, for example, and they don't have that super expensive look. Prouès by David Hanna does. Firstly, the Magnetique Agile is a barrel bag. I haven't seen the barrel bag anywhere else, really. What I'm noticing at the moment that's really popular is the Boston shape, and it comes in different sizes, different takes of the Boston bag. Different brands are crafting their own take, but the barrel bag, and it looks expensive. I like the fact that it's two different sizes. You could use them for different occasions. The smaller one to a wedding, a cocktail party, for example. The larger one, possibly a work bag alongside a tote where you have books, files, tablet, for example. And then when you're out, you keep the bigger bag and you go out for dinner, to meetings and so forth. It's something that stands out. It's arresting. It's well made. I would highly recommend going down the customization route. That is where Prouès by David Hanna really excels, because you can customize the leather, choose the leather you'd like, the color, and also the thread. When I was in store, it so happened that I noticed a large size Magnetique Agile two-tone combination. It was stunning. It was in purple and blue, but it was the more muted take of those two colors. It looked incredibly sophisticated. More of a mature take. It looked stunning, and I thought, oh my gosh, I wouldn't necessarily just consider a single color, maybe the larger one, a single color, and then the smaller one, something more fun, two-tone, mix it up. You're spoiled for choice. And I'd even say consider the two sizes. Possibly go with one size, and then maybe next year when you've had time to think about the look and feel you'd like, go for a different size. But please do take advantage of the customization option and create something different, something unique, something that really stands out and you will really enjoy. And it'll be a bag for life. I also like the fact that it's an elegant, poised bag. It has the two handles. You can carry it either using the handles, or you can place it in the crook of your arm. And I think that's really elegant. It's sophisticated. It's a win-win. There isn't anything I can really think of that I don't like about the Magnetique Agile that I wouldn't recommend. I like the shape. I like the versatility. I like the fact that there's a customization option. Please do take advantage of it. I am petite in build and height, and I was able to carry very comfortably and confidently both sizes. So depending on what your needs are, what you like, it's an absolutely fantastic bag. Whilst in store, I couldn't help but notice a belt bag, and that's because during the course of the weekend, I was in Paris. On 3 separate occasions, I was warned about pickpocketing in Paris, and apparently it's absolutely rife. And it so happened that on Sunday, on my way to Gare du Nord to catch the Eurostop back to London, I noticed pickpockets in operation on the metro, and that totally unnerved me. And I thought, oh my gosh, I really need to take this seriously. I like their belt bag. It's one cavernous compartment. It has a slip pocket on one side, and then otherwise there's nothing else fussy or that takes away from the capacity of the bag. It's a bag that's big enough to take a passport, cards, and cash. I like the fact that it has the 2 zips as well. It has a permanently attached strap that's adjustable, so you can very comfortably carry the bag either on the front or on the side. It reminds me of the 80s style, a bum bag, but it's a more elevated take of that. And what I also really like is the fact that the strap is adjustable, so you can also carry it as a crossbody bag in a really stylish, funky way. It reminded me a little of another belt bag from another French brand called Camille Fournet that I really like, and that comes with 2 straps, and you can carry one over your shoulder and one across the body. So there are options depending on what you like and what your budget is. But the icing on the cake that really elevated the belt bag and just made it really classy, a really nice take of it, is the diamond clasp on the back. And I thought, oh gosh, that's really nice. That just adds an element of class, an element of sophistication to what is otherwise a fairly simple, practical bag. The saddlebag from Christian Dior was introduced in 1990. There are now 3 sizes to the saddlebag: the mini, small, and the medium, which is actually the classic, the size that is most associated with the saddlebag. The mini is 21 centimeters in length, the small 23.5 centimeters in length, and the classic 25.5 centimeters in length. The mini is priced at £3,050, and the classic is £3,450. And it comes in 3 leather options: stamped grain calfskin, smooth calfskin, and goatskin. The inside of the bag is lined using calfskin as well as goatskin. It's a bag with a flap over and a magnetic component on the underside. And the bag also comes with permanently attached straps, so you can carry the bag very comfortably on the shoulder, and it sits snugly under your arm. And attached to the flap over and the strap is fairly weighted, ornate hardware and letters spanning out Christian Dior. Inside of the bag, one cavernous compartment with a zipped pocket on one side, and then the outside back of the bag is a slip pocket. The bag also comes with an additional adjustable, detachable strap so you can carry the bag as a crossbody bag. The holster bag from Prouès by David Hanna comes in just one size, 27 centimeters in length, introduced in 2023. It's a bag with one cavernous compartment. Inside there is a zipped pocket, and then the outside back of the bag, there's also a slip pocket. It has a flap over with a buckle a flap on an ornate diamond buckle on the front, and a strap that I would say is semi-permanently attached. And it also helps to make the bag more visually appealing. I like the fact that on the strap, which is adjustable, there is a diamond clasp, a diamond buckle on it, and that complements the hardware on the front. And that just helps to elevate the whole look and feel of the bag. And so why would I recommend the holster as actually a better alternative to the saddlebag? Well, firstly, the holster is a lot more user-friendly in terms of the carrying capacity. It's just one cavernous compartment without any impediments. Whereas the saddlebag, because of the shape, there is the W shape on the underside. That takes out the entire outer perimeter of the bag. So the outer perimeter of the bag coming in about an inch and a half means you cannot use that. You're left with just the middle of the bag, so it limits what you can actually place in the bag. There is a zipped pocket similar to Prouès by David Hanna, and you can place cash and cards in there, and then, for example, keys, lipstick, and your phone in the body of the bag. That would typically be your option. But with the holster, there aren't any impediments. You get the full use of the entire bag. Why I also like the holster bag is that with Christian Dior, you have 3 leather options, whereas with Prouès by David Hanna, you have access to all of the tanneries that France has to offer. There are about 45 tanneries, and all of the tanneries in France, they've whittled down the tanneries in the country, and they're focused on just crafting absolutely stunning leathers in the tanneries that are remaining. Italy and France lead the leather goods space when it comes to leathers and the tanning of the leathers, together with Argentina. And they all have their unique selling point. So for example, Italy is really known for their full grain vegetal tanned leathers, whereas France is known for their refined calfskin that's elegant, it's visually appealing, it's soft, it's lightweight. And you have access to all of that. And I'd highly recommend the customization option. You can choose the leathers, the colors, the thread, and then you mix and match and create something absolutely outstanding, something different, something beautiful, and something that is going to last a lifetime heirloom quality because the quality of the leather is outstanding to begin with. So that's something you really have, and a massive plus when it comes to Prouès by David Hanna. And then on top of that, at a fraction of the price. The saddlebag from Christian Dior, the classic size, is priced at £3,450, whereas the one size from Prouès by David Hanna is priced, depending on the leather, the Torillon bull calfskin, for example, is €2,090, and that's about £1,800. But the Novo Napa leather, which is absolutely stunning, is €2,330, which is about £2,100, an absolute fraction of the price, but you're getting absolutely outstanding quality leather that's even better than what Christian Dior is using. You're getting access to the finest quality from France. Christian Dior, their bags are made in Italy. I would imagine they're also using Italian. They could be using French leathers, but they have gone for the very best with Prouès by David Hanna. With Christian Dior, it's good quality, it's solid, and what you will find with stamped grain, it's leather that is not the very best to begin with. That is why it is stamped grain. The magic may be in the smooth calfskin and possibly the goat skin, where you get something a little different, something that you can be a little more experimental with. But Prouès by David Hanna exceeds Christian Dior when it comes to the selection of leathers and the superior quality, and at a fraction of the price that Christian Dior is charging. And last but by no means least, modern day luxury really needs to be environmentally and socially responsible. we have heard over the last couple of years, and most recently in the last month, Loro Piana, a brand under Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy, that's also the parent company of Christian Dior. And Christian Dior has also had its fair share of scandal within the last year. I don't think we have heard the end of the scandals. There's still more scandal to come out. Prouès by David Hanna is a small privately run family business. It's been in operation for over 30 years. The owners, the workers are passionate about their brand. It's a brand where they give their heart and soul. They work hard, they like what they do, they excel. And they're in a space where they're high quality, under the radar. And the people who need to know who they are, they know. And they enjoy their work. The workers are paid a fair wage. They have good working conditions. And I'd be confident to say it would be incredibly unlucky to hear any controversy coming out of Prouès by David Hanna regarding poor pay or poor working conditions. That is something we're going to hear more of from the big luxury groups. And we've heard from Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy over the last couple of years. So I think we're living in a time where as consumers, we really need to be mindful of where we buy, where we spend our money. Spend your money with brands that really look after their workers, pay them well, and they're really good working conditions. So that's the holster bag from Prouès by David Hanna, one of my favorite styles from the brand. Any thoughts, any questions, as always, let me know in the comment section down below.